Well, good morning, YouTube. We are back with our next video. We are actually going to dissolve our gold sponge today. Hopefully it'll drop fast and we may even get to show the melt today, but it's going to depend on how fast this stuff falls out of solution. As you can see out here, it's a very nice rainy day again. So let me get everything set up and we will start dissolving our gold. So we will get right back at you in just a few. Alrighty everybody, it is that time. We are going to go ahead and level this out in here as best we can, and we are going to go ahead and add our muriatic acid or hydrochloric acid, however you choose to say it. And I hope I got another jug, because this jug is feeling a little thin in the skin, but I think we have enough to do this. So here we go. We have our pan on and warm. We're just going to put about that much in there, and we are going to get our little bottle of nitric acid, and we are going to add some nitric acid to that. Get our pipette. And this is our 70% nitric acid. It looks like we got about, let's see, let me look at something first. Put this down. About 50 milliliters. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and put in a few pipettes of nitric. It's about 10 mils. We'll let that start dissolving. Put our cover on, and we'll actually watch this part for a minute. I actually like this part. I like it when it makes that beautiful liquid gold. Let's actually see if we can get you down here a little bit and get a little bit better shot of that. Oh, that color is so pretty. So pretty. Look at that. Yeah, when you do stuff like this, I mean, you do the computer stuff for a while, and you get all these other greens and blues and all these colors with the contaminants in it. But man, when you get down to this stuff and you're just doing that, that pure gold powder or nearly pure gold powder, the color of that chloroauric acid or the actual solution that's forming is just so amazing. And I mean, I don't think the camera does it justice. I mean, I've sit and watched, after the fact, but it just doesn't do it justice. Alright guys, I'm going to let this do its thing. I just wanted you to see the beginning of it, and we will get back at you when we are ready to filter and drop this gold. So we will see you in a bit. Okay guys, so while we are waiting for our gold to dissolve, I figured we would go ahead and, I've got a clean beaker here, I figured we would go ahead and put our copper nitrate in here. I have already put some distilled water in here from washing and stuff like that, so I'm actually going to go ahead and bring this up to about 1,000 mils. I'm going to go ahead and rinse my jar. And I am adding distilled water to this. We'll bring it up to, like I said, about 1,000 milliliters. And then what we're going to do is, in fact, I might actually move that into a 2,000 milliliter beaker, just so I have the extra room. Let me do that right quick. And that'll also help mix it up. Spray bottle. What we're going to do is go ahead and drop the silver out of this as silver chloride, and we're going to use HCl to do that. And the reason we're going to do that is because this will actually make a little bit of aqua regia, so if there's any other metals in there, they'll dissolve into solution and the silver chloride will fall out. So let me get back to you, clean this stuff, and get back to you in just a second. Okay guys, we are back. I'm actually going to add just a little bit more distilled water to this. Got my other jars cleaned out. Bring it up a little bit more, and then we're going to mix that up. And we are going to add some HCl to this, and we are going to go ahead and drop our silver chloride, whatever silver we're going to get out of this. So we still have a little bit left in here. It should be enough. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. And wax another bottle of acid. I'm going to actually stir this up, and then I'm going to add a little bit more when it settles down a little bit to make sure that we got it all. And there's our silver. Now this is the silver that came out of our jewelry, so you can see that there was quite a bit of silver in there. I mean, considering the amount that we had, that's actually a nice little drop of silver. Now let's go ahead and check it, make sure we don't have any more. We are actually getting a little color, so there's probably some palladium in there. But we didn't drop any more silver, so we're just going to go ahead and let that settle out, and then we'll have to convert that over to silver oxide and then to silver metal in a little while. Our gold is still trucking away up there. I'm going to go ahead and spray the sides of this down and put our cover on it and set it up on the shelf to settle. So hopefully all this stuff will settle out today. Alrighty, we will get back at you in just a little bit. Okay guys, we are actually almost done. I'm seeing a little tiny bubble every now and again in here. There's actually a little tiny bit of metal still left in there, so I'm going to let this sit a little while longer, And we're going to go over here. It actually, in the camera, it looks kind of red, but it is really a golden yellow color. And we're going to go check our silver, which is beginning. You can see the line where it's beginning to settle out. That's our silver chloride from this jewelry, and you can see it starting to settle in the bottom. This was our test we did. I think it was in the last video. And you can see that little bit of silver chloride in the bottom of that, but this will actually clear out just like that, and it'll all settle out. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes. We're going to let this, I just added a little bit more HCl and a touch of nitric just to see. The non-reactive metal we have down in there could possibly be a little bit of karat gold that didn't mix really well. I thought I had shook it up good enough, but it's very possible that a little bit didn't mix, and if, in that case, it may have a silver coating on it and may be locked out. But we're just going to wait a little while longer and see. If that is the case, I'll just have to melt that and throw it in with another batch. But anyway, we're going to let this go about another 30 minutes, and then I'm going to get it filtered out, and we're going to do our drop. So we'll be back at you in just a bit. Okay guys, we are ready to do our filter. I actually still do have, I'm not seeing any more reaction. There is a little bit of stuff in the bottom of this. We have some, again, some black powder, and we got a little bit of solids left. But I'm not going to keep adding acid to this to do it. So we have our 80mm Buckner funnel set up. And I have a slow filter paper in there. So I got to get one more thing and we'll be right back at you. Okay, we're ready to do our filter. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to save this filter with whatever comes out of the bottom of this, and I'm going to just melt it and save it for the next batch. So here we go. Oh, is that gorgeous. And this stuff, you want to be very careful. You don't want to spill any of this. You can see our little tiny bit of solids left in there. I'm actually going to do that because I want it to run off the rim. And amazingly, look at that color that's still in there from rinsing that down. So we're just going to leave that there for right now. Let this start filtering through. And look at the color. We may have to run it through there twice. I don't know yet. I usually filter it once, then let it cool off. Then I'll add a little bit of sulfuric acid after it cools off, or right after this first filtering I'll add it, let it cool off. That should drop out any lead, and we will go from there. So I'm not going to make y'all sit here and watch this long process. We'll just get back to you when this gets all filtered out and we're ready to put it into our beaker to drop it. So we'll be back at you in a bit. Okay everybody, we have reached the moment of truth. I did take that little bit of material that was left in the bottom and meld it, and it looks like it's pretty pure gold, so we'll just keep that for our next batch. But I will keep it, you know, to weigh in on the final tally. We've got about 300 mils of fluid here. I've already denoxed it. I mixed up about approximately 20 grams of sodium metabisulfite. And we are going to go ahead and drop our gold. So, here we go. Oh my goodness, this is fantastic. There's gold galore in there. You notice we didn't really even get a color change. We actually just went right to black, and there's little bits of gold all over the stirring rod. So this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful drop. I'm keeping this towel here for wiping off everything with gold, because it's going to go in my little gold bag up here. So our drop was very successful. You can see a large amount of gold powder there. So let me spray this off once. Knock that down. I'm going to actually move this up here. And let me get this camera loose, and we will be right back and show you how our drop is progressing. Okay guys, it's only been about 5 minutes, and I don't know if you can see that at the bottom, but we've already got about 1/4 of an inch of powder down there. If you see in the top right here, we're already getting a good separation line. So this should actually drop out pretty fast. And I just wanted to show you something else. I don't know if you can see it in here, but you see where this gold is actually like flashed to the side of the beaker? No matter how clean you think you have a beaker, that just goes to show you that it wasn't spotless clean. And I wiped it out 1,000 times and washed it 1,000 times, because I know that gold especially does that even more than silver does, believe it or not. But you can see still there was a little something there for it to stick to. But anyway, we're getting a pretty fast drop, so I've been on my feet for a while today. There's our silver still dropping out. So I'm actually going to go in and take a break for a little while, and we'll come back out and look at this in about 2 or 3 hours and see where we're at. So we will see you then. Okay guys, a few hours has passed. I just wanted to show you that you can tell this was very pure gold, because I mean, you normally don't have it fall out that fast overnight. And this has just been a couple hours. There is still a little bit of a haze in there, so I am probably going to just leave this sit overnight. But if you look in the bottom, that is a nice little stack of gold in there. So the entire bottom is covered about 1/4 of an inch. So we're just going to let that go ahead and settle overnight. I'm going to go ahead and call this it for this video. And we will gather up our metals and convert this silver from chloride back into a metal. And we will probably melt everything in the next video and do a tally up and see what we got out of all this. But anyway, we had a very successful gold drop. I'm very pleased with that. As you can see, like I said, we have a good little stack of gold on there. And I'm going to go ahead and let this haze settle out. So we will get back at you tomorrow and tally up our gold and our silver and our palladium and so on and so forth. So we will see you guys in the next video.